Lately, the internet has developed this really weird obsession with the idea that every cartoon absolutely has to include characters of color. And not in a healthy way either, more like a forced, messy demand. And if they don't see it, they get mad. They lose it! They explode everywhere! What's ironic is that most of the time it doesn't even matter what the cartoon is actually saying. What matters is what they feel the character should be. And they do this not like an analysis. It's literally just wanting to see a black character so they can feel like there's representation. A perfect first example is the Backyardigans. They are aesthetic, colorful, cute animals singing opera and going on absurd adventures. And yet, there's always that one guy saying, "Nah bro, Pablo has to be black." Why? Just because the character is expressive, intense, dances a lot, and gets hyped like crazy? So basically what they're saying is, if he moves a lot and has flavor in his blood, then there's no way he can be white? Then they do the same thing with Tyrone and Uniqua, labeling them as of color purely based on how they imagine people of color behave. With no context or evidence, just absurd stereotypes. These people genuinely have issues, man. They even get angry over simple fan art. There was this innocent fan art someone made of the Backyardigans just to express imagination and creativity. And instantly, the intense critics showed up telling everyone which characters should be black. Like, what the f, bro? Relax, it's just art. They even assigned them nationalities that the original creators probably never even thought about. And I swear some of these people are missing a screw, because this isn't the only example. Another one they criticized to death is My Little Pony. What? Please! They're cute magical ponies jumping around in their pastel pony paradise. And despite the entire aesthetic of the show, there were still people complaining that there are no black ponies. What? Like, what do you want? Demon ponies or something? And then they try to add a pony just to satisfy their hunger for cultural representation. And what happened? They immediately started classifying it like it's their full-time job. They introduced Sikora, a zebra with a more noticeable accent. And what happened? Immediately, okay, she's African. Bro. So now they see a zebra and automatically think Africa, drums, mystical wisdom. That's not representation. That's National Geographic Twitter edition. But the most recent example is what happened with Phineas and Ferb. Bro, these people are genuinely sick with cultural representation. And ironically, it was mostly English-speaking people, white people, who came out saying Phineas and Ferb is a trash show because it lacks cultural diversity, just because they don't see enough African-American characters. Like, bro, as if they were the only ones that count as diversity. The show literally has characters from different backgrounds. You've got Baljit from India, Isabella who's Latina, different accents, cultures, countries. Even Doofenshmirtz is German, and Perry is an Australian semi-aquatic mammal platypus. So what do you call that? But no. If there aren't enough visibly black characters, then it doesn't count. Because for a lot of people, diversity only means one thing, and everything else is invisible. And this happens in a ton of other cartoons too, like Arthur. For years, people claimed that Brian was black just because he's intelligent, educated, and responsible. So now being smart is a racial trait. Then, when they actually introduced canon black characters, people complain that they don't feel the same. Basically, if it doesn't fit their pre-made fantasy, it's invalid. In Rugrats, Tommy and the others are just big-headed, chaotic babies. But Susie Carmichael? She was loaded with the entire responsibility of representing the black community. She had to be educated, mature, strong, morally superior, while everyone else was allowed to be chaotic, dumb, and messy babies without any problem. Because of course, the character of color can't be a disaster. They can't mess up. They can't make mistakes. They have to be the example. They have to teach everyone else. Is that seriously what real inclusion looks like? In Hey Arnold, it gets even more absurd. The show is hyper diverse. Latinos, immigrants, different accents, real neighborhoods, real human stories. Gerald has been there from day one. Leadership, flaws, charisma, the whole package. And still, some people said there aren't enough black protagonists. Because apparently if a character isn't yelling, "I'm a person of color," every 5 minutes, they don't exist. They don't count. Then there's Adventure Time, where fans decide Marceline is of color because she's intense, dark, musical, and rebellious. And I'm like, where the hell are these conclusions even coming from? But wait, for them Princess Bubblegum is so white, like white on steroids because she's problematic and controlling. Even though Marceline is half demon, half vampire, a little apocalypse survivor, she has to be the one of color. Because she's too intense to be white. Just let that sink in for a moment. The Powerpuff Girls have the same twisted logic. Blossom is pink, a leader, calm, so obviously she's classified as white. Bubbles is sweet, blue, and soft. Surprise! Also white. But Buttercup? She's rough, bossy, aggressive, fights a lot. Oh no, she has to be of color. Basically saying that a strong or aggressive personality doesn't fit certain groups. Then we get to Encanto, and the script flips. Since everyone is Latino, now people decide who looks Latino enough and who doesn't. Mirabel counts as Latino, so we good. But Isabella is too white. Luisa looks European. So now it's not just representation. Now they want Latinos certified by skin tone. So if you're milk colored, sorry, you're not Latino. Then they bring up the Proud family as the perfect example. And sure, it's important, but it also has extremely exaggerated stereotypes. Loud families, over-the-top caricatures. But be careful, because if you point that out, they immediately tell you, "You don't understand the culture, dude." So, if you criticize a stereotype, then you're the villain. But if you consume it without asking, you're an ally. Amazing logic these people have. And finally, there's Gumball, where Darwin gets classified as of color just because he's orange and adopted. Yeah, let that one sit for a second. But look, by this point, everyone already knows representation does matter. Nobody's denying that. The problem is that it's not just about throwing in a black character and calling it a day. It's not about making someone darker and saying, "Mission accomplished." Real representation means writing complex varied characters with different personalities, not using race as an automatic label or default personality. Because if your idea of diversity is just counting how many black characters are on screen while ignoring culture, context, history, and nuance, then you're not asking for inclusion. You're asking for a checklist. And at the end of the day, the most ironic part is that many of these cartoons were made for kids, to be universal, absurd, or fantastical. And yet, you've got adults fighting over them like they're sociological textbooks. Analyzing them is not the problem. Demanding racial realism for a magical pony while using stereotypes to justify it? That's the weird part. So, in short, not every character has to represent someone, and not all diversity fits into a single category. Because when representation gets reduced to, is there a black character or not, you're not being inclusive. You're recycling brain-dead ideas and dressing them up to look progressive. And if, for you, dancing, yelling, being intensive or aggressive automatically means person of color, while being calm, nerdy, or a leader automatically means white, then you're not breaking stereotypes. You're reinforcing them just with moral ego attached. Tell me, just tell me, what nationality is Dory or Nemo? Or they're just fish and that's it? But anyway, tell me what you think about all this. Had you already noticed it? Leave your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you in the next video.